G'day everyone, Viv here, hope you're all keeping well, welcome back. Another scenery showcase for you. This set very similar to the previous one in terms of the building styles, but as you can see, very different theme. No trees on this one, full of lots of crystals. I was having a chat with Octave from Play It Painted and he was talking about Relic Nights. I don't know if you watch his live broadcast on Wednesdays or Thursdays, depending on where you are. But Relic Nights has this theme of sort of, I don't fully understand it, I'm not going to try and explain it, but he was talking about crystals. So I thought, look, hey, listen, I'd love to do something with crystals. So here we are. Let's have a closer look. The first thing that came to my mind in terms of crystals was trying to contrast the colour of the crystals with the colour of the buildings. I had some more of these buildings hanging around. I made a few more. All the buildings are the same size, so there's very little height variation in them. I wanted to sort of represent sort of a desert sort of village or encampment. Yes, with the same sort of style of buildings with the buttresses and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't want there to be any sort of overall standout sort of pieces. I wanted the crystals to sort of set everything off. Now, as I mentioned, I wanted a colour contrast. So I thought, look, let's go with that desert sort of sandy sort of colour. Just to offset a whole bunch of the tan colours, I've put a bunch of black shading to represent sort of smoke on the buildings, like they've all been burnt out. And then the crystal colours, I thought it needs to be something that's going to pop out against that tan sort of colour. So I thought maybe green, red, not really, purple and pink. I think it's come up really, really well. Let's have a closer look at some of the pieces. So there's 5 buildings in this set and 4 rock or boulder outcroppings. Again, they have that similar sort of texture and style to the previous ones. They're just done in a different sort of colour. And I think it's come up really well. I'm not too sure about the rocks, but they look okay. This set is a little bit done to a lower standard. As you can see, there's no ground foliage, no clump foliage or tufts or anything like that. I was thinking to maybe do that, but I thought, no, look, I'm not feeling this set as much as I was. I think I could do a better job on the crystals. They have all been airbrushed up, and I'm kind of happy. But I think that they could be a lot better. So I thought, look, let's not go too much further with this set. I'll leave it as it is, and I'll get on with another project. So I'm happy. It's done to a lower standard, or a lower level, but it's come up well, I think. Now, each of the buildings have an assortment of crystals on there. I've tried to sort of block some lines of sight. So if you had sort of figures on this side, you can't really see out this way. You can sort of see through the window this way. I've tried to block some of those lines of sight. I've tried to keep some of the areas where you could pop a miniature behind the crystal and maybe perhaps still see around the side or over the top of it. Where some of the pieces have gaps in the middle, let's just grab this piece over here. Where some of the crystals have, some of the pieces have crystals in the middle of the walkway, I've tried to leave room to be able to get your hand in there and move miniatures around, but none of the crystals are removable. Everything is fixed in place, so you're not going to be able to move anything. The crystals will pop off. I have noticed one thing with the render here. Because I've glued the crystals directly onto the render can lose its grip to the MDF, so you do need to be careful. I'll do the sets differently in the future. I will glue everything to the base and then do the texture afterwards, so I can build up the texture certainly on this crystal set next time, so it looks like the crystals are coming out of the ground rather than sort of sitting on top. So that is one thing that I noticed about this set, which was also led me to the decision to sort of, let's not do too much more work on this set. I can make a better one in the future, so we'll list this as a lower level of building, and the next sets will be up to a much better standard. But I'm happy with how they came up. Again, just the L corners, because I find them really useful. Some of the pieces have, 2 of the pieces have just a little a section sort of the building, as you can see, and the others are just the L shapes. I've used a variety of size of crystals, big ones and medium ones. I haven't put any little crystals around the place. Obviously, this is not massively realistic of what crystals actually look like. They're very clumpy and very irregular, but I didn't want to put too much on there because I wanted figures to be able to get close to the crystals and hide behind them, depending on what game you're playing, whether you need to be behind or touching or within 1 inch of an obstacle to gain cover, all that sort of stuff. I didn't want to put lots of small crystals around the bases of these, which would have made it look much better, but would have affected its playability. overall, I'm very happy with the set. It was fun to build. The crystals were great fun. They took a lot of time. Doing all of these edge highlights took a long time. But I'm happy mostly. I think I could do them better, and I'll do some experiments in my own time and see what I can come up with. So there we go, there's a look at the second scenery showcase. It was a fun project to build. I enjoyed doing the crystals, but as I mentioned, I think I can do them better. Overall, I like how the sets come up. It was fun to build. I might do the buildings also in a different style. I don't know, we'll see. I've got a third project on the go at the moment, and you'll see that in the next couple of days. Once that's finished, perhaps as I'm getting towards the end of that project, I might start building along with Dread. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check him out. What's his channel name? I can't remember. Put it in the description. I've watched Dread for a long time. He's got some amazing skills. He's working on some Afghan, Middle Eastern sort of buildings. I've wanted to do something similar for a long time, so I'm going to do that as a personal project for me. I also need to build something very similar for one of my winners of the 9,000 subscriber competition. So that'll be some good practice just to make sure all my skills are where I think they are. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself. Have a good time. See ya. I stopped working on it. I'll list it as I said. This is the last time I'm going to do this tape. This is ridiculous.